morning, Steve.
So you've put in about 100 of these installations elsewhere?
Yeah, that's right, Steve. Look, this is something that's not only our company, but a process that's been happening throughout Australia for many years. I mean, we see the old water pumping windmill almost everywhere in regional Victoria and regional Australia, and I guess the adaptation of that is one that would create electricity, and we've seen those being installed in Victoria and Australia for a very long time. So it has come as a surprise, but probably not so much of a surprise when you look at some of the history between a particular council member and you look at the I guess that negative feedback that's come from members of the Moyne Shire and the opposition to wind turbines in general.
Okay, so you reckon this smaller turbine that was being proposed has been caught up because of the opposition to some of the larger industrial installations?
Well, that's exactly right. And I think what we've been pushing for the last few years is to give these micro wind turbines their own identity. And we've been successful in New South Wales where I guess that they've been given an identity and there's a description, and if you're installing one, there's a criteria that you must meet. Unfortunately, that's yet to be adapted by Victoria Planning, but we're hoping that will eventuate and that will clear up, I guess, these inconsistencies where, Steve, the first thing you'd probably think of if I said wind turbine is a huge wind farm.
Mm.
And it's not the case at all. It's absolutely not the case at all. This is more on the scale of a windmill that you would see in anywhere in regional Australia.
Right, the old Southern Cross style windmill.
Yeah,
so
exactly
in proportion
right.
to one of those, this is what, 1 metre or 2 metres taller? Is that about right?
Well, look, when we put these applications in, we measure to the tip of the blade. So the actual tower itself is 12 metres. And again, a bit of misrepresentation there from the council member, but the tower itself is 12 metres. It doesn't have to always be 12 metres. It could be 9. Council did not raise any issue with the height. But look, I guess the important thing is when these installations are occurring, that the installing company and the landowner do speak with council. But the important thing on the other side is council can disconnect the visual of a wind farm to what we're looking at is a micro wind turbine on a property. And that's the issue that we have seen over the last 10 years. And in this particular case of Moyne, because of their history with the opposition to wind farms, it's just come at the right time. I mean, they're going through the process now of opposing many wind farms, and ours has been put in the same category.
So do you know now if the landowner who wanted to have this on his property is likely to appeal the decision or try going to VCAT, or is it over now with this one?
No, it's definitely not over, Steve. I guess, in life I like to take positives out of anything we can, and the positive side of this story is that there is an opportunity to highlight that there is an issue, and the fact that putting an application in for a micro wind turbine for a landowner automatically is categorised as a huge wind farm. And we're going to take this opportunity to speak to Moyne Shire. I know that planning has actually approved the installation. It's actually the council members.
Yeah,
and
who voted against it, yeah.
Who voted against it. So that's only 7 members, and not all of them voted against it. So we do want to continue highlighting the differences, and if it needs to go to VCAT to highlight that, that's what we'll do.
Okay. In terms of the visual issues, I know there were some of those raised. The other thing about turbines, large or small, it seems in this case, is noise. How much noise does one of these things actually make? Yeah,
look, in this micro scale, not a lot. And this is where we go to the expense of engaging acoustic engineers to demonstrate the nearest property. So in this case, the nearest property was approximately 300 metres away. And that was close enough for us to say, look, it's justifiable to get an acoustic engineer's report. And that identified that there was zero sound at the amenity, which is what we expected. But unfortunately, we have to continue proving that for each application where there is a property within a few hundred metres.